When you think of artificial intelligence, what comes to mind? Probably not your local government office, right? But the thing is, AI isn't some sci-fi dream anymore. It's here, and it's already quietly running the show in one of the most important parts of our world, the state.
I mean, think about it. How is AI already running parts of your world? From the traffic lights you wait at to how public services get to you, these systems are making decisions that impact you every single day. So yeah, the question isn't if it's happening. The real question is, how deep does this rabbit hole actually go?
And look, this is not science fiction. This is happening right now in countries all over the world. But to really get a handle on it, we're going to zoom in on one place in particular, Indonesia. We're going to see exactly how AI is getting under the hood and really transforming the machinery of the state.
All right, first things first, we have to understand that AI is already governing. And this isn't just about, speeding up the old clunky government processes. No, this is a massive, fundamental shift in how government itself actually works. It's like we're moving from one type of bureaucracy to a completely new one.
Okay, so take a look at this, because it really breaks down that shift. On the one hand, you've got the old way, what academics call street-level bureaucracy. You know the drill. You go to an office, you talk to a real person, you fill out a stack of paperwork, and that person has some leeway, some discretion in how they help you. But now, we're shifting to system-level bureaucracy. The new way. The person is gone, replaced by a screen. The rules are all automated. Your info is just digital data. And that human touch, that discretion, it's often been completely designed right out of the system.
And you know what's wild? This isn't even a new idea. Researchers were calling this more than 20 years ago. This quote from 2002 says it all. The law's execution has been nearly finalized thanks to ICT. They saw that tech wasn't just going to help apply the law, it was going to become the way the law is carried out. For better or for worse, that human in the loop was already on their way out.
So, okay, that's the theory. But how do we know this is really happening on the ground? Where's the proof?
Well, it all comes down to this one number, 35.
What does 35 mean? Well, this whole explainer is based on a deep dive into 35 different studies, all about AI and Indonesia's public sector. So everything we're about to talk about isn't just guesswork or a few stories. It's all built on a solid foundation of real academic research. All right, so let's get into it. What did those 35 studies actually uncover? Let's take a quick tour of AI in Indonesia and see where these systems are popping up. First up, let's talk roads and transportation. Something we can all relate to, right? The daily commute. And if you've ever heard of the traffic in Jakarta, well, you know they need all the help they can get. AI is becoming an absolutely critical tool there.
They're using smart traffic control to try and manage that insane congestion. They've got cameras that automatically read license plates, count how many people are on the bus, and can even classify 23 different types of vehicles. They're even detecting illegal parking automatically. This is literally automated governance happening right there on the streets.
Okay, moving on from the roads, let's go to the clinic. Health. This is a sector where the stakes are, life and death.
And here, AI is becoming this incredible partner for doctors. It's helping them diagnose things like chronic kidney disease, and it's acting as a second pair of eyes for radiologists, helping them make better calls. They're even using robotic nurses to cut down on spreading infectious diseases. And get this, on a bigger scale, they're using AI to try and predict the next pandemic before it even happens.
All right, what about education? How is AI affecting the next generation? Yep, it's reshaping that world too. At universities, you've got chatbots answering student questions 24/7. Think about that. Instant answers, anytime. But it's deeper than that. AI systems are actually helping decide who gets scholarships by crunching all the applicant data. And in the background, it's automating all that tedious admin work, which frees up the human staff to focus on, more important things. So, wow. Traffic, health, education. The applications are pretty impressive, right? The tech is clearly powerful. But this is where we have to pause, because the conversation needs to get a whole lot more serious now. We have to look beyond the technology. Because here's the kicker that the research points out. There's this massive blind spot. Almost everyone, academics, researchers, they're all focused on the tech. How do we build it? How do we make it faster, smarter, more efficient? But they're failing to provide a real model for what this all means, the actual consequences for how we're governed. Think about it. The conversation just ignores the bigger picture. We're talking about governance, risks, ethics. When you automate a decision about who gets a scholarship or how traffic flows, you're not just running a piece of code, you're embedding values and rules into a system that impacts millions of lives.
And the conversation about the ethics of that, the risks involved, it just hasn't caught up.
And if you want a concrete example of that risk, just look at this number, 135.
In 2018 alone, there were 135 reported hacks on Indonesian government websites, just in 1 year. Now, as more and more of the government relies on these digital AI-driven systems, they become a much, much bigger target. When those systems are controlling your medical data or managing the city grid, the stakes for security get unbelievably high.
Okay, so when you put all of this together, it leaves us with some really big questions. The kind of questions we all need to start asking, and fast.
So let's just quickly pull all the threads together here. What are the key takeaways? First, AI is causing this huge shift away from face-to-face government to automated systems. Second, this isn't theoretical. It's happening right now across major sectors like transport, health, and education in Indonesia. And third, maybe the most critical point, the focus has been almost entirely on the tech, not on the rules that should govern it. And that, right there, creates all these new challenges for fairness, for security, and just for basic accountability. Which brings us to the final, really big question that we have to leave you with. As AI manages more and more of our society, who manages the AI? We're building this world where algorithms control our roads, have a say in our health, and influence our opportunities. So the really urgent question we all need to figure out is, who or what is going to manage the AI?